Welcome back to the Offbeat Podcast, people. Back again this week. Joined by two big guests. The lads from GKN Group. How are we?
Okay, yeah. Thanks for inviting us on.
Yeah, it's mate. Pleasure for you to go on. We've kind of had mutual connections, haven't we? So It was through Greg where I kind of found you. Yeah. But yeah, do you want to kind of introduce what GKN really is?
Yeah, well, it's a goalkeeping based brand. Full name's the Goalkeeping Network. It's sort of evolved a little bit. Over the 5 years that it's been going. Initially, it was basically a WhatsApp group that's still going. It's still like flourishing. We've added a coaches group in there now. But the main idea behind the brand was to connect goalkeepers. Try and find them places in clubs if clubs need goalkeepers.
Proper goalkeepers union.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the age old, isn't it?
What it is.
It's the age old.
Yeah, that's literally what it is. It's like the goalkeepers union, like embodied, like, but without the cliche.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But yeah, and it's just sort of it's gone from there. Obviously we've got like the coaching sessions, which Chris is absolutely flying with. I'm sure like Chris will go plenty into that.
There's lots of videos on Instagram.
Lots
of videos.
Yeah. It's just to second what Ollie said. It was just all about bringing goalkeepers together at first. I was running some sessions already after retiring from the game, and it just motored from there really. Now looking probably upwards of 100 goalkeepers a week now, coaching through group sessions, one-to-one sessions, and the standard that I've been fortunate enough to kind of get has been superb. And obviously Ollie's taking it on in Manchester as well now over this side, so he's running quite a few sessions in the week as well. So yeah, long may it continue.
Long may it continue, mate. Well, you played non-league, don't you, at the moment? Then you played for Fylde. Was that National League North?
I was coaching. I was first goalkeeper coach at Fylde last season. Yeah, so. In the National League North.
Jesus, it's quite nice.
He can still do a bit, man.
He can still do a bit. I saw the clip you put on your story. Was like, I can still move. Don't you worry about
that. Don't get me wrong. I paid for that for about 3 days. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday after the game, I was stiff. Yeah, but I'd not played for a little while. But I'm putting the gloves back on this season as well. Only Vets League, nothing too clever. But you never know. I might get a call.
Hey, you never know, mate. We'll call him. Trying to get back into Southgate's plans here. I can see what you're doing. Well, so in regards to sort of like the playing aspects of it, obviously with you doing the coaching and obviously bringing out the gloves, like they're fucking smart, aren't they? I'm not gonna lie, they're very smart.
If we do say so, yeah, they're smart gloves, to be fair, and well represented as well around the leagues as well. Obviously Ollie, hits hard on the glove side of the business, so yeah, I'll leave that one to him, really.
Yeah.
So is it kind of, are you more focused on the coaching element, you're more focused on kind of the gloves in there?
Yeah, a little bit. Like we're both very sort of involved in both sides of it.
Yeah.
But just basically what time allows, really. I've got a little bit more time like throughout the day and whatnot. So I can deal with like most of the glove stuff, like inventory and sending out and whatnot.
A lot of admin in it, but it's a lot of fucking admin.
Yeah, it is. I mean, fortunately, like we've got a warehouse set up now, so that's all well and running. Like we hopefully don't have to deal too much with it now. But like for the past 5 years, it has been very sort of hands-on. Not like bedroom brand, so to speak, but like we've both been very hands-on, involved in it, just to try and get boost the brand to where it is now, and hopefully that we've laid the foundations for it to grow even more. But yeah, no, I mean, thanks for saying the gloves are smart. We like to think they are. Like, wouldn't wear anything else. To be fair.
Of course, yeah, and you can tell how good they are by how many people sort of use them as well. Because you see, you've also got quite a lot of contacts within a non-league kind of game.
Yeah.
Like, you see, how many rough kind of like non-league keepers do you have who wear them?
How many we wear, like, we won't be able to say.
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, we've got thousands of customers, so and it's a worldwide brand.
Yeah.
At the minute now, we've got players in America buying them.
That's mental. Do you ever get some like just random like tags on Instagram? And you're like,
yeah.
Where does that come from?
Yeah. How have you found those?
Yeah.
I mean, the one came through the other day from Austria, and you're thinking, where does that come? Yeah. How's it got there? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
But it just shows kind of the traction that's kind of built up, and the way that we kind of did it was probably the best way to do it. We set the WhatsApp groups up first.
Yeah.
Obviously, that was getting the goalkeepers into into the WhatsApp groups was superb, you know, and there's probably 250 goalkeepers and coaches across the two WhatsApp groups. So that's what we deal with day in, day out. You know, we help everybody in there with any problems or issues, or they just want to post in and see how everyone's doing and stuff like that, which is class. And then the glove brand kind of evolved from there, as I was saying. Like Ollie already dabbled in the glove market prior to the GKN, so he already had the idea to bring that forward to us, and obviously it was well represented in the group. You know, the lads in the group and all the girls in the group were buying the gloves at the start, and that just kind of built it up through the social media as well. So
it seems quite organic as well, because you were saying that you started off as like helping people out in that WhatsApp group, moving into the glove business.
I think that's what it's always been.
Yeah,
it's all been organic. Like, you know, we've obviously put an initial investment in, and don't get me wrong, there's been other little bits of sort of, you know, funding that we've put in, but you know, we're stocking, like, I mean, what is it, 7 models, multiple colours.
Jesus, it's proper
heavily stocked as well, you know, and that's all come from an initial like sort of small investment 5 years ago. You know, like it's like when we sort of sit here and speak about it, like me and Chris obviously always like say,
oh, of course,
like, oh yeah, we're flying here, mate, aren't we? But it's like,
it's real in it, I suppose, a little bit.
It's nice to get kind of, you know, to get the feedback, you know, people saying, you know, your fucking gloves are class, like, you think, yeah, we think they are, but then it's getting it off everybody else.
It's weird. You can say it as much as you can, can't you? Man, someone else can
sounding salesy.
Exactly.
You know, our gloves are the best. Like, buy ours because they're really good. But I mean, they are. Like, why not?
I mean, you play for, like, you're playing on league, don't you? You're not gonna use shit gloves, are you? Because it impacts your career, really, doesn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, remember I said to Chris a while ago, like, I guess it's like the most surreal part when we first started the brand was either playing against someone or seeing an order come through of someone that we didn't know.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, obviously we've got all the people in the WhatsApp group. Like, I don't get me wrong, the WhatsApp group isn't like a direct sales.
Of course.
Bit. That's purely like, you know, help, support, you know, and at the same time building trust.
Yeah.
Between us two and the goalkeepers in there. Obviously, if they want to support the business, fantastic. If not, no problem. Like, you don't have to wear the GKN gloves to be in the GKN group. Like, we're not like that. But then, like I said, I can't remember who it played against, but there was a keeper. Like, as I was warming up, like he was collecting the balls, like being shelled by the lad who was playing. And I looked at him, I was like, they are gloves there. Like, how do you know about us there? Like, and it was just like some random team. Like, it might have been Clitheroe or something. You know, no ties to them at all. And like they've got the gloves, and they were like, oh yeah, like seeing them on Instagram and all that. You know,
small world, innit? We had a random comment literally 2 weeks ago. So we've got stickers. I try and stick stickers up everywhere just to kind of get. It's got a QR code on there.
Yeah.
And went to Krakow not long ago, and someone commented. We got like 3 subscribers just randomly, and I was like, okay. And then I got a comment saying, "Oh, we just found you in the vodka bar in Krakow," and I was like, "You what?" And so I had a look at the picture. I was like, "Did we meet you?" Or and I was like, "Hang on, we didn't meet you." So they've also just found our sticker just randomly. And I'm like,
so now
that's a great idea, by the way.
I've seen
honestly, the sticker idea.
The time, but like, I never think, oh, it's a podcast. That
the stickers is a great idea, because if you put a QR code on them, people are going to scan it. Because I know if I ever see a sticker out, I'm intrigued. I won't know what that means, so I always scan it. And so we pay to have the analytics. It's not expensive, and then you can see just like randomly how many popping up, and you're like, it's weird because people are nosy, aren't they? It's like on Instagram, as soon as someone sees another keeper wearing the gloves, they're like, what are you wearing? Why have I never heard of it?
Have a little click, follow, bang, wow.
Exactly, straight away.
Website, bang, there you go. So
is social media like your main form of sort of advertising? Is that what you tend to push on as much as possible?
I'd say so, yeah. I mean, obviously, again, going back to the WhatsApp group, it was fantastic because we already had that kind of base. Not saying we've used it as like, oh yeah, we're going to sell gloves now because these people are in our WhatsApp group. As Ollie said, that was strictly for support, but then it was like, you know, this is what we're bringing to the market. Here's a glove. Obviously, show it to the group, and if they like it, you know, they buy it. But like Ollie said, you know, we had glove brands in there, other glove brands, lads who played the game who had their own glove brands. They were in the group as well, so we allowed a certain amount of them to kind of post in there, didn't we? So it's not like we've gone, it's GKN or nothing. You know what I mean?
Of course,
we've allowed them to kind of be in there and offer kind of their products as well, free of charge. It's just a platform that they could use. So we already had that, and then we've built kind of the social media side of it up on kind of the back of what we've been doing. So again, like the organic growth of the business through a couple of posts on social media, and then it went from there. Obviously Ollie runs the social media side of it, so the stuff that's put out there, it's good.
It's
good.
not.
It gets a lot of interest. And then it's just grown and grown and grown from kind of that. So it's been a decent little journey, to be fair. And social media is massive for everybody.
Yeah, of course.
So using it in the right way, we've always said that, haven't we? We're not going to kind of abuse it, but use it in the right way to kind of develop what we're putting out there.
Yeah, word of mouth's massive as well. Like, of course, especially for Chris. Like the amount of messages we get on like the Facebook group saying, like I need one-to-one sessions for my kids. Like, where are you based? Warrington. There you go.
Straight away,
right in there. Yeah, a lot of the time they might say, one of the lads' parents like recommended you, like that you go in like and go with the GK, and it's like, well, thank you. Like,
it's word about. It's the same with me, sort of stuff. Like we found you through Greg, and then a message Greg was like, "What are these lads like? Top lads, like really get along with them." And that's how most of our guests sort of come around, really. Because at the end of the day,
it's supporting.
Of course,
even though we sort of want to almost move past the small business sort of moniker of it. Like we are like a small homegrown business at the end of the day, and word of mouth and having the trust of other people is massive for us. It's massive for any even like the barbershop we're in now.
Yeah.
Like if someone walks around with like a decent haircut and they say, "Oh, where'd you get your haircut?" Go to this place
straight away. Yeah.
So it's like it's massive. Like there's never too much advertising or like sort of help you can get, because there's always someone else out there that you're not aware of.
I mean, when I buy things personally, I look at recommendations more than anything.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many, like, if you look at all podcasts, all YouTubers, or whatever, you have a look. If you watch them, you trust them.
Yeah.
It's all about building that trust, isn't it, really?
Of course, yeah.
Especially being within like a non-league, because it's very tight-knit, I always find, non-league. Like, if someone left a club, it's always because they're going somewhere else.
Yeah.
So what's like the non-league career been like for you, really? Sort of.
I mean, I've been a bit of a tracksuit collector the past couple of years, but it's I mean,
I've never heard that before.
It's on a daily basis.
I've got to get a new wardrobe for the amount of trackers I've got there. But no, I mean, it's one of the I'd love to like I've got to like I think I'm on like 98 appearances for New Mills. I think I was on like 96 for Radcliffe. So I'd love to like break the century on clubs. Like I'm hoping I'll get there with Witton. I've got absolutely no plans on moving unless I'm like surplus to requirements. Which is how I've been at every club. You want to be first choice, don't you? At the end of the day, as keeper. Yeah, exactly. Or at least battling for that first choice. Yeah, exactly. And I broke my leg 2 years ago, and obviously with COVID's taken a couple of years off everyone's career, and because I was fortunate that I broke my leg at a good time because I wasn't missing any football. Of course, yeah. But at the same time, I feel like I've lost a year's worth of career from that. So I'm always in the mindset I'm gonna play every week. Like, as long as I can, I want to play every week. Like, I haven't done wrong. Like, I can recognise when I'm not playing well and I probably don't deserve to be playing. But if I feel like I'm playing well and that I can offer something to a team, then you want to be first choice, don't you? That's why you play football at the end of the day. That's why you give up your time, of course, to go and do it. Plus, if it helps the brand, like I'm at Witton at the minute, like the young support there is like unbelievable. And like literally yesterday, I think he's like the junior director or something. He's like come up to me and asked like about getting all the junior teams like in the clubs and all that, because like I say, I'm like sort of not nonchalantly, like I'm quite liked by like the ball boys and all that. Like they all you're first team keeper, aren't you? End of the day, people look up to you. Couldn't get off the pitch yesterday, like because they were like, "What pitches?" And I'm like, "What's all this?" But,
and it shows as well. You got some of your young goalkeepers as well.
Yeah.
One of the one-to-ones that Ollie does in the week. He was his mum's took him over to go and watch Ollie play. So it is quite a big thing and a big market having Ollie playing first choice, it's great for the business. You know what I mean? It's because the young ones love a goalie. You know what I mean? If he's first choice keeper and they support the team, you know, the goalkeepers, you know, generally get quite a lot of love. To be fair, it's decent.
Yeah.
I mean, goalkeepers are also a bit of it's the hardest place to play in it, really, because if you make one mistake,
the worst position on the pitch.
It is the worst.
Don't know why we do it, to be fair.
I always say to my young lads, you know, that every week they might have a new one come into the group and like, how you, whatever, how's everything going? Why do you want to be a goalkeeper? And I'm like, I just love diving around and getting muddy. Don't do it. Do not be a goalkeeper, because it is, you know, a bit of tongue in cheek, because it's the worst and best, isn't it?
Of course,
The moment, last minute. I mean, I always go back to kind of Ollie in his game for Radcliffe in the playoff final, and we always had a little chat about it all the time, and I tell a story all the time. They're winning 2-1, it's 94th minute, and Ollie makes a save right at the end, which, you know, you'd have one of them a season.
Yeah.
And it happens in the playoff final, last minute, as a young lad, and he tips it down the post, and you're like, they're the moments that you wait for. Few and far between, but few and far between. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where, how many times has it spun through your legs and gone in? You know what I mean?
Of course,
And you wait for one moment in a season, and you know, I always allude to it with my young keepers about Ollie. You know, you make one save at the end of a playoff final, and you're the hero, aren't you?
You do a lot of kind of coaching videos, don't you, and sort of the club promoting videos.
Yep. Are
you wanting to move into like the voiceover sort of stuff? Kind of, are you trying to look for that perfect clip, or do you ever have like a camera? Obviously, Ben Foster's the one at the moment. Would you ever kind of do that?
I mean, I have sort of thought about, you know, having like a GoPro on my goal, you know, whether it's for, you know, like footage, like for GKN, or if it's like, you know, for my personal use, where it's like, right, I've conceded there, like, well, my position is miles off, like, and I can see it there, because you can only see so much on like videos these days, like that the club's take, and you don't always get the footage either. So yeah, I mean, you know, like a GoPro's probably, I might introduce that. You know, we always want to like evolve. You know, the brand will keep evolving, and it's like, you know, if that means changing sort of the style of social media posts, you know, what gets good engagement, because we want, you know, we don't really want to put stuff out there that isn't going to be seen, because everything that we do is for, you know, it's for the benefit of people, and there's no point, you know, it's like if a tree falls, like, and no one's around, did it happen, sort of thing. So, you know, we want to put stuff out that's going to be applicable to people, but that, you know, they're going to take things from it, and we have sort of changed a little bit over the past couple of weeks, and it's been really well received. Because obviously it is very, you know, especially when like lead up to Black Friday and sort of sales, new glove releases, there is going to be, it's quite heavy.
You've got to be active, haven't you?
Yeah,
you need to make sure.
It is quite product heavy, but we've actually started doing quite like sort of, you know, broke down tutorials on, you know, the fundamentals of goalkeeping, like, you know, like collapse saves, like diving forwards, attacking the line of the ball and whatnot. And it's goalkeeping is a very opinionated and, you know, sort of individual sort of topic of football. Like one part of it. So like our opinions might be different on some things. Like that's just sort of how it is. But the stuff that we put out really hasn't really it's been really well received, and there hasn't really been any, you know, sort of not backlash from it, but no one sort of pushing back or questioning it. But
I think if you look through social media and you go through the goalkeeping content and the coaching content, it's really difficult to see many similarities. I think everyone's kind of individual in the way that they kind of work, although working towards the same goal.
Yeah, everyone's got different
but
styles, haven't they?
It's
really?
just so, as Ollie said, opinionated. There's a lot of people out there that see things, and if they don't like it, they just come and say it. You know,
of course,
they're not backward in coming forward. So, you know, the stuff that we're trying to put out at the moment, as Ollie said, really well received, and we've not really had anything where someone's gone,
don't agree with
it's
that.
a bit shit.
Don't agree with that. Yeah.
It's a bit shit that, you know, I'm not sure that works or that works or that works. But if you look through goalkeeping content, there's so many people that their opinions, they just force it on everybody. I think that's probably the right way to say it. So we're trying to put stuff out there now that we think is, you know, people can use.
Of course,
to help them get better, you know, and we've decided that that's kind of let's do that. Let's do it this way.
Yeah.
Let's see how that kind of looks, doing it kind of the way. It's still the way that we see it. It'll
Yeah.
still be the way that we see it.
yeah.
How we see kind of coaching. Everybody coaches different. Yeah. But it's been good.
Yeah.
It's been really, really good. And obviously that's probably the angle that we're going to do more of, so people can kind of see what we're doing, because everyone thinks we turn up on a Wednesday and just have a little have a coffee, sit down, talk shop, but we're doing some good work hopefully, and we can kind of get it out there now. 100%.
I suppose that's kind of the best way to go about it as well, because at the end of the day you're not just catering towards professionals, are you really? At the end of the day, like even people like me who play like 6-7 aside, if I'm in net, I need to know fundamentals. I'm never going to play at a high level, but at the end of the day, if it's going to help me improve playing with mates, you're always going to watch it, aren't you?
There's a whole world of football beneath professional. There's a whole world of football beneath semi-professional. I think the sort of, like the amateur game, and proper grassroots does get sort of swept under the carpet a little bit. Whether that's because, say if there's probably lads playing footy now on like Ducky Park or something, but people won't necessarily know that's going on. Mm-hmm. Maybe because it's not like advertised on social media or something, but that just sort of shows it isn't like it can get forgotten about a little bit, and there are players there are goalkeepers there that still need developing. Like when I brought the dog on the field near me, and there's keepers playing and all that, and I'm looking at them thinking, like you probably little changes or something, but they're probably the ones who are commenting on our posts, saying,
definitely,
love this, I've been trying to fit, like my kicking, or if I'm not coming for crosses. They sort of see the content that we put out and take something from it. If you change one person's opinion on something, then that's the whole point of doing it, isn't it?
I think as well, it's not always accessible for everyone.
Of course,
goalkeeper coaching. Coaching coaches are really difficult to find. We get it all the time. People asking about coaching in areas where there's no goalie coaches. Mm-hmm. Or they're not accessible goalkeeper coaches. You know what I mean? They might be in the area, but they might be fully booked. So putting those little bits out for them is really important to them. I've got goalkeepers that'll travel, and Ollie's got goalkeepers that'll travel for miles to come for a session. Chester, Birmingham. I've had a lad from Birmingham come over to Warrington.
Jeez, that's a trick, isn't it?
From Wales, Flynn from Wales, who come over because finding goalkeeper coaching in their area.
It's niche, isn't it? It is a niche market. Yeah.
Ollie, where was Aidan from? York.
Yeah, and bless him, love Aidan to bits, and his family, so dedicated. He was on holiday in Scarborough and he come for a session in Hyde. And it's
love that.
I loved it.
Is that where you train then? Do you train out of on Hyde's 4G pitch?
No. So I don't train at Hyde United. Just in the area.
Just in the area. Yeah.
I mean, I'll go into it, but it's the cost for 4G facilities,
of course,
is extortionate. So we've
there's always parks in there, isn't there? You just need a goal. I mean, you only need a goal a lot of the time because it's all about principles, isn't it? Like you talk about the breakdowns and stuff like that.
100%. You can do it anywhere. Goalkeeper coaching, you can coach anywhere, big, smaller areas. There's loads of little bits that you can do.
Yeah.
Obviously in Warrington, we've got a base in Warrington that I use, which is a high school, where I've got my goals and stuff set on there. Really, really, really fortunate that we've got kind of that space in the area that we use.
Good quality pitch as well, isn't it? So
it's always good. So you can do it anywhere though.
Yeah.
That shows in lockdown. Chris was running Zoom goalkeeper sessions. But
that was hard.
It was hard on his knees.
I aged about 5 years. Honestly, I've got obviously in the back garden. I've got a strip of kind of astro there, but there's nothing underneath it apart from concrete. But
shoulders popping out left, right, and centre.
You know what? I learned more in lockdown about myself and how I coached, because they're not in front of you; they're on a computer screen.
Interesting, yeah.
Upwards of 30 goalkeepers from Portugal, Spain, Italy, Portsmouth, Scotland. Literally, I put out about doing some sessions, and everyone just jumped on it. It was brilliant for me. You know what I mean? It was great to kind of get out there and meet different people. But it was tough, hard, really tough, because you've only got yourself to kind of coach. In a way, you're coaching yourself to help them. So there's no one in front of you apart from the computer screen. So it was bizarre, but I learned so much more about myself just in that short space of time through lockdown. In how to be a good coach. because there's nobody in front of you to kind of
Yeah.
rectify any mistakes or anything like that. So you had to give the right details out. So it was good. No, it was really, really good. And so fortunate to be able to do that for the goalkeepers as well. It was really, really class, and again really well received. So yeah, it's good.
Should we have a little break, boys, and then come back part two? I want to dive more into sort of a non-league world, because I'm fascinated by non-league football. I have been since more internet, really, just watching people non-league. I think we should dive more into that. Obviously, show the gloves up a bit as well.
Definitely. Let's do that.
Part two. Welcome back, part two, people. Little break. We were having a little bit of discussion anyway, weren't we, about kind of working with not just kind of players, but also teams as well. Yeah. You kind of went overseas, didn't you?
Certainly did.
Yeah.
We took a trip over to Alicante City FC to deliver kind of a 3-day intense goalkeeping camp for their keepers over there. So Ollie knows the guy who runs it out there really, really well. So pass over to him to let you know.
Small world, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't say I know him really, really well, but he's, I've had sort of dealings with him in the past. They got a fantastic business getting, UK players abroad playing. I myself have played in Sweden before, so I'm all about UK
getting out
there, go and do it. So it just sort of treated my interest a little bit. I just thought, because we've always wanted to do like a bit of warm weather training, put a little asterisk on that warm weather for a sec. So I just thought, why not? Like, worst they can say is no, and they're all over it. Like, we want to come over, get plenty of footage, put on a camp and all that for your keepers. What have you got at the minute? So they said, this lad comes in, he doesn't speak a word of English, as he probably won't. Like, he lives in Alicante, he's from Alicante. He puts on some sessions and it is what it is. But it'd be a great opportunity. Obviously, they've seen us as a business, like, and they're obviously seeing it from a business point of view. We might bring in more keepers, like, to send over there and whatnot. Yeah. So we were just like, right, let's get the tickets booked and get it out there. So we get out there. First day, nice and sunny. CK's got his new glasses on. Second day,
I'll dressed up ready for the occasion.
Second day, it's pissing down. Third day, it's pissing down, and it gets rained off.
You got rained off.
Third day in Alicante, it's rained off. You just couldn't.
I've never
couldn't write
So I play cricket. That's normal to be rained off there.
Yeah.
Footy.
Yeah.
Not really.
No.
Unbelievable, and it was absolutely torrential.
It was like we got there and we didn't we sort of presented to the lads. I think it was on the morning we did a presentation on it. So we got there, settled in, presentation to the lads, which was the first for us as well. Like, we've never actually presented together, which is obviously something we want to build on and
of course,
do in the future. But we stood there, like, basically they've got like 3 villas where all the players live, and directly opposite is this massive complex where they've got an AstroTurf, like state-of-the-art gym, rooftop gym and all that. It's unbelievable. So we presented, walked over, like, we had a session, really, really good. The lads buzzing over it.
Yeah.
Next day, morning session.
Yeah.
Like, a couple of keepers dropped out, but still really, really good session. And then we were due for an afternoon session.
A couple of keepers dropped out. Another keeper jumped in though.
Ollie
trained straight in.
I brought my gloves.
Yeah. Go on, then I'll have a go.
I'll fill in there.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
I brought my gloves. Don't worry. And it started hammering it down, and it got rained off because the AstroTurf is quite, like, it floods quite easily, ironically. But they'd literally not had a drop of rain for about 9 months.
Fantastic. As soon as you come over, we'll get it.
And then as soon as we landed back here, beaming, so it was like,
I couldn't write it, honestly. Texted us, didn't he, the day after, sent a message into the group saying, lads, this is what you just left behind. And it was like 32 degrees, sun, and it had been hammering it down. To be fair, we enjoyed a little day in Alicante, though. To be fair,
of course, yeah. It's like a holiday, wasn't it? Just going away with your mate, really, wasn't it?
Jolly up.
Yeah.
We did actually.
Holiday in Alicante.
That's how it ended up on the last day.
Yeah. So what sort of level is Alicante? Is that like their version of semi-pro? Are they what league are they in? Were you training like pros or semi-pros?
Not really. I mean, they do. We trained. it was with Alicante FC, but I think they had like another sort of first team. I think there's basically 2 teams. I might have come way off it there, because they had one team training in one location, and the team that we had, which is primarily because it's with Baller Box. So they obviously have their own specific group of players who, because they pay to go over there. It's a lot of American lads, a couple of Brits and all that. It's like O'Brien over there. He's it was really good to get to work with Bryden, because it was very like, and obviously if you watch this, it's like shout out Bryden, but like it was quite you can see a relative like introverted person, as you probably find a lot of British lads are when they're playing abroad, because you're away from home.
Yeah, of course.
Like you don't necessarily speak the language. He's been out there for a few years, but like the feedback that we got off him and the other keepers, like, was really like sort of heartwarming. Like, and we only got it like a couple of weeks after we got back. It was like like I said, really like somber moments that we've sort of gone over there, delivered, and sort of like connected with the keepers across 3 days.
Yeah.
And that's sort of the power of goalkeeping, because it's quite an individual place you're an individual in a team sport.
Yeah, you are definitely.
So it's
100%.
like if you can bond with someone in that, like, and that's what the goalkeeping union is. That's what the GKN is.
You tend to always work in isolation. If you think of, if you ever go and watch, say a pro club with the goalkeepers, a lot of starting of their sessions is generally the goalkeeper away from the players.
Yeah.
So you work kind of in isolation. You might be you might work 1-to-1 with them. You might have be lucky enough to have a couple of goalkeepers, maybe a couple of training goalkeepers that come in. But a lot of the time you just work in isolation. So you're away from the team. You're on your own. You're doing your own thing. So I think that's why the goalkeepers union was kind of bred from.
Yeah,
I mean,
of course.
you need to have like-minded people who you can go and talk to, because sometimes you might not see anyone for an hour or two, or a day or two.
Fucking hard as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
depending
hard.
on what happens. I always think about like goalkeepers that are on the injured list and they're coming back from an injury. Generally, like, you'll see the players, if they're injured, they'll be together. Where's the goalkeeper? What's he doing? Is he doing his own specific stuff? He has his own specific training or recovery plan than the actual team. So a lot of the time you're working away from everybody. So you do build up those relationships. Like I say, 3 days in Alicante, a couple of sessions, and the messages that we got off the lads were really, really nice. Like that, you kind of sparked my love for the goalkeeping again, because they wasn't getting as much training as what they probably expected while they were there. So yeah, you build up those relationships, and the feedback was brilliant from the Alicante lads. It was excellent.
Yeah, and the lads from Baller Box, they were delighted with it as well.
Yeah,
I think
of course.
Whether I'm sort of putting words in the mouth or whatever, but like, I think they seem quite like sort of taken aback with what it was. I think when they sort of like agreed to us come over, they might just think, oh, the goalies are with the goalie coach who's come over, but instead it's like, we always try and do things the right way, professionally, whether that is like the gloves, the kit, the way we like sort of portray ourselves. We just try and keep it as professional as we can, and I think even doing like the presentation that we did, like we went into all like the sort of like the GKN DNA, like what a coach for the goalkeeping network would look like, and what a keeper would look like, sort of define.
Break it down step by step, really.
Physical, technical, tactical, and all that. So we really sort of went to town on it, because it's our first one. We thought we've got nothing to lose here.
You might as well do it properly. I mean, you learn from it, won't you?
Exactly, exactly. And they were all over it, and obviously we've been in talks with them. Like, nothing set for this year, but it's something that we definitely look.
You definitely want to go back out.
Yeah, and even if it's not Alicante, if like there's a big world out there. Like,
course,
why can't we like go out to other clubs and do it? It's unbelievable experience that we.
All it takes is one person to see. It's like you said when a lad from Austria bought some gloves. Yeah. All it takes is him to go to his club and be like, look, I've got these.
Yeah, these are class.
These are coaches. Yeah. Want to get them over.
Yeah.
There's nothing really stopping him.
Absolutely. Well, we've had it with Javier, haven't we?
We have. Yeah. So I got contact from Curzon Ashton, who their old goalkeeper.
They're flying at the moment, Curzon.
Right, yeah, they are
flying.
It's another one of my old clubs. That, to be fair.
And I'm the tracksuit collector.
Yeah. We're finding a lot more out here, aren't we?
Yeah, they had an old goalkeeper called Javier, who's Spanish. He played for them, and he's got his own academy out in Spain now. He works for the likes of Atletico, Real Madrid and stuff like that. So he's got a lot of really, really, really good players on his books. But he was bringing 24 goalkeepers over on like a residential coming over to England. And they were looking for a goalkeeper coach to come over and do a couple of days with them to do a couple of sessions with them. So they contacted me, guy from Curzon contacted me and see if we'd be up for going in there for a few days. So obviously said yeah.
Oh yeah,
great opportunity to go in.
Why not?
Great opportunity to go in. So myself and Ollie went over and held some sessions for them. The standard was wild, by the way. Really. They had Peru's under 17 goalkeeper. They had Spanish national goalkeeper in there from the under 15s. I think it was, or under 16s. Yeah. So the standard was really
different gravy. Really.
And it was great to kind of go in and coach them because the culture's different. So the way that they're coached over in Spain is totally different, probably to the way that obviously myself and Ollie coach. So it was really good to see that, and the questions, constantly asking us questions about why are we doing this? What what's this going to help? And so really getting the detail into them was fantastic. So it was a great couple of days coaching them, and he's come over last week when we were at Platt Lane coaching. He just turned up for something and he came over and asked us would we be okay to go over there potentially to do some sessions over there in Spain with them. So there's obviously that link again. So
word of mouth again.
Yeah.
Well, it's all it takes them to go back over there and move to a different club, and straight away it's word of mouth.
Small world with a big network.
It is. All it matters, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, definitely.
The non-league aspect always fascinates me. I was saying, like, being able to just constantly be kind of evolving. I feel like with professional clubs, it's very set, isn't it? Whereas non-league, everyone kind of knows anyone.
Yeah. So
what's it kind of like with you? Because you were saying about networking to find people, other clubs. Do you do that quite frequently with goalkeepers? Trying to be like, oh look, I don't know, a Scarborough looking for a keeper. Yeah. I've got these two lads that I know. Does that happen quite frequently?
Yeah, happens a lot. To be fair, happens a hell of a lot. We were discussing it a couple of weeks ago about the amount of contact that we get. For keepers looking for clubs. Obviously, the actual coaching group or the GKM WhatsApp group, we have a lot through that as well. So a lot of lads that are in there might end up being released by a club, etc. So we get a lot of contact through that. But social media, it's probably a couple of weeks, maybe. Keepers looking for clubs, and obviously,
Jesus, that's quite a lot.
From varying levels as well. So,
of course.
So from grassroots kind of up, we get quite a lot of contact. Obviously, Ollie tends to deal with a lot of that because he comes through the social media channels. But from myself as well, from my coach and the keepers that I coach, it's probably weekly that you get asked. There's a club looking for a under 12s, or there's a club contacting you saying, I'm looking for a goalkeeper. Have you got any that are available?
So you're essentially a scout as well as a coach as well as a player, really. Yeah, a little bit, you are.
Yeah, everything. Everything. And and there's people out there that charge for that.
Yeah, of course.
I mean? They'll charge agents fees for kind of finding clubs and finding players, but it's something that we just kind of offer out there as like another.
It's good for your brand, isn't it? Really.
Yeah,
like it's just as good for you as it is for them. Cause
of course it is. Yeah.
If you send a keeper off to a club and I don't know, they play 50 times. From there, straight away they're like, right, you've sent us someone good here, we'll listen to you again. Oh, you've got clubs, let's have a seat at your clubs. Sort of aspects and then moving forward.
One of them as well, like, you always have to manage, as much as we want to get keepers playing at as high level as you can, get him playing every game, you also have to have a sort of sense of realism in that. Like, say, let's just use Scarborough, for example, because you mentioned them. Let's say Scarborough, National League North. They say, we're looking for a keeper. With all respect, we probably won't send someone who hasn't sort of been in and around that level, just because one is, don't want it to be an unbelievable experience for, let's say, let's go from one extreme to the, like, you got like counties Div 1, so step 6, so there's like, there's 4 leagues between them or whatever. Never been anywhere near, this keeper's never been anywhere near even step 3 or step 4. They might go in and play unbelievably well, but at the same time, they might go in and it might ruin them.
Ruin the confidence, and then they're out of the game. You don't want that.
Exposed to that sort of level of pressure, and that could see them off. So there is that sort of duty of care from our point of view, where you want, like, everyone wants to play as high as you can. Like, fantastic if you can do that, but almost do that organically. Yeah. Unless there's like specific events where we're looking for a certain type of keeper, like we have done in the past. This was just before lockdown, actually. Like, move on to that, I said, but like we do have to sort of almost like be careful of who we give, because at the same time, not just for the players, but the trust of the club. Say Scarborough receive this county's keeper, and he has a stinker, they're never going to come back to us.
Yeah.
Again, and there's also, like, with the WhatsApp group, there's potential sort of conflicts because, and we're both in non-league, like, so, and there is a lot of stuff that goes on in non-league that, like, we know about, but other people won't necessarily know about.
Course,
and unfortunately, that's just like the nature of the beast with it. Obviously, we're as professional as we can be with it, and it's it's just that little bit of a grey area where we can't really help it, but at the same time we want to help everyone.
Yeah.
But it's got to be right for, like, from a business point of view.
It's got to be right for you, got to be right for the goalkeeper, got to be right for the club. It's got to be right for everybody at the end of the day, otherwise it doesn't work.
Yeah. But I mean, there are opportunities out there, like, as much as, I feel like we don't really let people down, like, well, I don't think we ever have really let anyone down. Like, we might be the bearer of bad news, like, you look, this team's looking, like, because I've had it with loads where there's, I know, like, someone who's at the club and they might be sort of looking for something else, and it's just like, it's not on us, like,
it's not personal,
like,
is
no,
it? It's not
personal.
We're not doing it personally. It's just the nature of what we, the nature of the business.
Yeah, of course.
You're always going to get that conflict sometimes where someone comes to you and says, we're looking for a goalkeeper, and you go, shit.
Yeah. Ollie plays for them.
How am I meant to
You
get that out
can't
there?
get one out of thin air. You can't pluck him out of thin air, can you?
Yeah, but how do we get that out there without, like, the person going, hold on, what's happening here? So you have to be, we have to be mindful as well, but ultimately the business will come first in first and foremost for me and Ollie. 99% of the time, there might be the one time where you go, I'm not going near that.
Yeah.
That's not for us to kind of do. It might be dependent on level.
Yeah.
It might be dependent on, that's his job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Ultimately, that's his job, and someone's coming, you're kind of having to go, look, I'm not doing that because it's his job. I won't be putting that out there, because you don't want to be the person that, they turn around and go, any chance?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Any chance? And you have to kind of be mindful, but ultimately the business will come first a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a cruel world as well, really.
It is, but that's
football.
That's non-league, really,
yeah,
isn't it?
We say it all the time that it's just football. You know what I mean? Yeah. It is a tough place sometimes to be in.
Yeah. Of course, because at the end of the day, it's not like you're playing full-time contracts where usually if you are contracted, you're a year, aren't you?
Yeah.
It's a 1 year contract, and then you have to go again in the summer. And
all
it takes is one manager to come in and be like, actually, I don't want a keeper who I don't want a keeper who just punts it long. I want someone to play out from the back. Do you know what I mean? That's all it takes sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah,
definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah. Like I said, there are opportunities there with us. Like, what was it? When was lockdown? 2020, wasn't it? So it was like February 2020. We got invited over to Man United's Carrington.
Oh, nice.
To sort of almost like provide keepers for an elite CPD with the FA.
Yeah.
So Chris knows Tim Dipner really well. At the time, he's head of goalkeeping for the England FA. So I was a top dog. I just mind that little name that I dropped there. But so he's asked us to sort of supply goalkeepers to come and train in this sort of this controlled environment where you're getting watched by the likes of Lee Grant, Shay Given, Dave Lucas, and what
mental, isn't it?
Amongst others, and unbelievable experience. And I trained. I had an absolute stinker. In one part of the session, which still haunts me to this day. But the other lads, like Tommy Taylor and Cam Mason, who went and trained there, they've got loads of trials from it. A lot of very good feedback. So we've don't get me wrong, we don't take credit.
Yeah, of course.
But we have sort of helped them and give them
a platform.
Exactly, and that's not the last one that we've had. We could go on, but we'll be here all day if we.
Of course, yeah. We've been doing it for 5 years, so it's a bit of a
exactly. There's a lot to we forget that it's been going 4 or 5 years, and there's actually a lot of stuff that's gone on in that time. So it is always good to speak about it, but that there is opportunities there. It is always handy to sort of be involved with the GKM one way or the other. Don't get me wrong, like we said before, it might come back to bite you a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's through we're privy to a third party. Like, if there's an issue, it's usually because it's the club. Like, the club have asked us, so we're not the ones who hold the responsibility for it. It's the employer at the end of the day. So,
of course, definitely.
It's one of them. It's catch-22.
Yeah, of course, all the time. Well, I want to know your opinion really on kind of like you're talking a lot about kind of organic growing and stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a lot of focus recently on kind of content. I'm obviously big into my content, love it. So people like Dorking, for example, #United, teams like that. How important do you feel like it is for non-league clubs to kind of branch into the social media sort of world? Do you think it's like just as important, or?
I think it's massive.
I think social media is massive. It depends what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's good for clubs to be out there and show them kind of the background of what's happening around the club. It might be training days or whatever it is, and then on to match day and how they prepare for all that. But I'm not sure about the actual club side of it.
Okay.
To be fair, I think it can be used probably better by some clubs. I don't think there's that many clubs that really put a focus into social media.
There isn't really,
it depends what you're after.
Yeah. Budgets as well, I suppose.
Budget, yeah, exactly. It dictates, doesn't it?
Isn't it? That are doing it.
So like #United, some of their stuff that they put out is brilliant. It's informative for people who want to watch. But a lot of non-league clubs, they might not have huge amounts of following.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably one of the things that's helped probably the likes of # and Dorking. I think probably their following has been picked up from pushing stuff out on social media. But I'm not sure whether clubs really need to go too far into it.
Yeah.
Again, like you say, the money might not be there to really invest in it. And I think sometimes you fall lucky in a club where they have some good sort of we always look at it from like Ollie's point of view when he's playing. What pictures can we get out there? Off the guys. So it's what footage can we get out or off the guys or the girls and guys. So it's that side of it. Whether it benefits the club, I'm not too sure. Ollie might say different because he's obviously big.
This is fascinating. The difference in opinion. Really.
It's subjective. And one person might find something cringy. One person might find something like class. Like with the Dorking stuff, I love the Dorking.
So do I. I love the TikTok clips.
All of the TikTok and all that. And I think it's got, is it Mark? The owner manager and all that. Yeah. I think it's class. But at the same time, some people might sort of look at it and think, what's he doing? Why is he? Yeah. Why is it about him? But it's like, well, he's brought the club up from nothing, so he almost deserves that platform.
And it's different. That's what I always find.
Yeah.
It's different. Like when I've been grown up following professional football, like Man City.
Yeah.
So I've been fortunate, and the club I support has always been kind of in and around the top leagues. Whereas I watch #United a lot because you see a completely different side. It's like you almost get to see how the club's evolving. And also, when they first came about it, everyone was giving them a lot of shit. Oh, they're going to be awful. We're going to go out of business in a year. All this, and then first thing he did was bring in like Jay Debrell, who's a seasoned manager, seasoned players, and they've just brought the club up like perfectly, really, in regards to they're actually like a fully functioning business now.
I think it's good to see what happens behind the scenes a lot as well. I think, I'm a United fan, Stockport County, Man City.
Since 2012.
A lot of the behind the scenes stuff now, you want to see what's happening in the changing room. You want to see what Pep's saying to the players behind the scenes. You want to get that information that you never really were privy to. Years ago, it was just kind of under lock and key. Everyone's in the changing room scrapping or whatever.
Fergie's throwing boots everywhere.
Boots, bouncing boots off Beckham's head and all that, and you never get to see the footage. So I think in the non-league scene, being behind the scenes, class. Obviously, I had the opportunity to work at Fylde last season, so they're all full-time footballers, so it's a full-time club. So seeing what goes on behind the scenes from a real personal point of view was class, because I've only ever known just a non-league
of course,
teams.
non-league,
you know what I mean? It's lower down the pyramid. couple of guys doing the butty wagging or whatever, and then all of a sudden you're thrust into this kind of limelight with a full-time team and a stadium, what they've got, and how the operation works behind the scenes was absolute class. So I think people kind of warm to it, don't they? Because
of course, it's different.
It's really personal, isn't it? So you can see what's happening behind the scenes, but it's people's kind of opinions, isn't it? What they enjoy seeing.
Definitely. I think nail on the head. Like if it's done right, then it's good. But at the same time, most in non-league, like a lot of people are volunteers. Like so, it's like even stuff like what we put out. I'm not a volunteer, but I'm not like I've got no profession in like designing or content creation. It's all sort of sort of like an imprint of what I see and what I can do. There's someone out there who can do it miles better. But that could be the same with clubs. So you've got like say I don't know like Fleetwood Town's TikTok at the minute is flying. They've got an American kid who's come over, really like enthusiastic, like not afraid to get on the camera, like really engaging. And then you might have I don't know like I won't name any clubs, but it's like you might have another club where it's just like a picture of the lads running in training, and it's like filmed on a camera phone, and it's
of course, it's different levels. You need to put time into it, really, don't you?
And I think the more you put in, the more you get out with content creation. It takes a long time. Like I think that a lot, especially everyone that sort of hates on TikTokers and influencers and all that. Don't get me wrong, there is there's certain sort of aspects to it where you do think, but at the same time. It is tough, to do these things. It takes a lot of time to get the videos that you watch on TikTok and all that. It's like it is a tough thing to do and to make it look right. Like how many times do you when we're clipping down clips or something, and you watch it back after clipping it all, and it's like it cuts out a little bit that you've done, or like the music cuts out straight away, or it's a bit glitchy, and you think.
Go back again, start again,
and it's like
happens all the time.
So.
And the problem is with content creation is you never know what's going to do well.
No.
You're literally like just guessing.
Yeah.
Every time, like every clip I do, I have to guess.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to do because I don't know what people are going
one.
to find interesting. I know what I find interesting, but I suppose you kind of have to play on your personal experience, really.
Yeah.
But it's
just
hard, isn't it?
It's when you look back and go. That was so good.
Yeah.
Why is that got
any likes? Yeah. Why is no one liking that?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. So it's so difficult to judge, isn't it, on the current kind of, I suppose, current trends, isn't it? Trying to find the right one to put out at the right time. Because people forget that if you put it out at the wrong time as well, it just gets swallowed up and disappears. And you're like,
I missed Ronaldo by a day. So I put a clip out yesterday
because
I forgot to do it the day before. And obviously Ronaldo fucking scored, and it was... Ronaldo's going to be top goal scorer at Euros. I still think he's going to be top goal scorer.
Yeah.
And if I'd have done that a day before, but I was busy working, so I didn't get a chance to do it.
Yeah.
And I was like, if I'd done that a day before, it'd have probably really well. But
boomed.
Literally a day later, it's a hard it's a beast, isn't it, really?
I think some people can abuse it as well. Some people know what, at the end of the day, if you turn around and said I think Ronaldo's going to be a flop at the World Cup or something, and then say it does, and then it's like, well, maybe not that, but if you say something that's quite contested and goes against the grain, people are all gonna sort of comment saying, even if they comment, that's engagement.
Exactly. I don't care. Someone can abuse me. I don't care. I'm never gonna meet him.
You're fishing for it a little bit, aren't you?
I did it on one of that. So our biggest clip we ever did on TikTok, we got 250k views, and it was top 3 restaurants in Greater Manchester.
Yeah.
But I clipped out the Greater bit on it. Right. I just put Manchester because we named 2 in Stockport.
Right.
So I clipped out the Greater because I was like, hang on,
they'll jump on you there.
People are going to be like, Stockport, that's not Manchester. Worked a dream. Look at the comments. All of them are like, that's in Stockport. But if you watch the actual podcast, which is little tweaks in it. Little tweaks on that.
That's sort of the fun and games of sort of chasing.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, it's you have to have a fine balance of not chasing likes, because really likes mean nothing. They bear no resemblance on it. But at the same time, having followers, again, it shouldn't bear any resemblance on how you stand in society or anything like that. But if you look at it from a business point of view, you might be seen to have a more professional
Exactly.
persona.
I don't think it means much when it's personal. Like on my personal Instagram, I don't care. I don't post on it.
No.
Don't matter.
Yeah.
But when it's on Offbeat,
Yeah.
and I don't know, like we've had some guests on there which we're lucky to have,
Yeah.
and to see them commenting and appreciating my work, I'm a bit like,
Yeah.
oh, mental. I watch you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's a bit of a.
Yeah.
It's a bit of
Yeah.
I'm excited to see your content though, especially when you're moving more into the coaching drills. I think that's going to be fascinating,
Yeah.
especially if you can get. Obviously, if you can get some of the other goalkeepers in as well,
Yeah.
that could be a really good twist you can use on there.
Yeah.
100%. We've already got a couple of little bits that we've lined up already with a couple of goalkeepers. So they once we get that kind of put down and dated and stuff, we can get that stuff out. I think it'd be
Fascinating, really, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Different again. No one, you don't really know people who do that. Coaches are usually always about outfield, aren't they? They're always about outfields, tricky wingers, midfielders, centre mid, passing array. You never get to see the folks on goalkeepers. I think it's fascinating.
Thing is, just last one, that like, especially when England go away,
Yes.
the videos that everyone always looks to is the goalkeeping
Yeah,
ones.
straight
No
away.
one's bothered about watching Rondo and like
of course.
sprints and all that, are they?
Yeah,
Like, there's two videos that always do well with England. One, the handshakes when they first come off the bus, just saying, "You're right, mate. Yeah, good."
Yeah.
Everyone
For
loves
some
that.
weird reason.
It's 15 minutes of that, like, and then the goalkeeping ones, everyone just loves it. Like, that's why, like we said before, all the fans usually love the goalkeeper because they're the ones,
Yeah, of course.
they're. It's just like a bit of a-
Spotlight, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Spotlight's
like
on
a.
them.
Yeah, it's
Good or bad.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
It is
the
good or
England
bad.
the England
Yeah.
goalkeeping position must be the worst position to have in the world, isn't it?
Yeah.
But if you look at Pickford, and
Pickford's like
right, his own.
never made a mistake for England. Never made a mistake, and it's always the one where it's like, oh, he's crap him, get it. How come
Yeah.
Pope's not playing? And you're
Exactly.
like,
Yeah.
hold on 1 minute. How can you?
He's been the most.
How can you take somebody out of the
Been one of
his
those
position?
reliable
Do anything,
The
yeah,
most
yeah.
reliable player of England have had for God knows how many years, and he's probably the one that's most kind of vilified, or people are going,
Yeah.
well, I don't think Pickford should be playing. It should be Pope or Ramsdale on current kind of form, and you're like,
Horses for courses. With
oh,
him.
yeah,
course.
exactly that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why Maguire's played, and
Yeah.
fair
Yeah,
play
yeah.
on Friday. Like, it was class.
He's
Like,
good, yeah,
and he
yeah.
had to be.
He won every header.
Yeah,
Every
like,
header.
we were under the cosh as well, like
Yeah.
massively in second half. Like, I think they had like 4 or 5 corners on the bounce, didn't they? And he was on his own, bam, deal with
Every
it,
single one.
deal with it.
Yeah.
So fair play to him, and fair play to any like professional, because you've got to be mentally tough for it. Because you think like I might get a bit of shit on Twitter for like being busy or something, or like whatever, and I might get 2 people like saying it. But they've got
2,000,
the whole of England
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
coming down
two,
on you.
two
you know?
people, and then like you say, it's could be.
If you play for Man United, you've got the whole world against
Yeah,
you, haven't
of
you?
course,
Like, it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
just, and you can't remember, it's just like, don't get me wrong, he is different to us three sat here, but if for all we know, you could play for Man United, and you wouldn't know any different. Like, it's human beings, you got to be careful with it.
And I reckon if you ever met him, I reckon he's just like a normal guy. I think they do well as well. Jordan Pickford, get the rave on, stuff like that.
Yeah, sending the whole
Likeable, isn't it? He's just a likeable guy because he's
Yeah.
just a normal guy. But you don't usually get to see it. But 15 years ago, you never got to see John Terry having a laugh with someone, did you?
No.
But like,
It's interesting you say that.
Yeah.
I was speaking to like one of the coaches, and it was more so about the Euros.
Yes.
Now it's like, I don't know why this genuinely might be like a generational thing. Like you might see it differently. Like you might see it differently, but like my sort of early memories of like England and all that was like the golden generation, like Beck's, Lampard, Scholes,
Yes.
Ferdinand, and all that, where it's quite well known they didn't get on and all that. There was no
Chelsea, United,
yeah,
Arsenal.
there was no access to them. It was these are like multi-millionaire footballers who like, are well above the rest of us. Now, I'm not saying footballers, like professional Premier League footballers, aren't like that now, but at my age now, at 27, it's like when I see like Jack Grealish playing, or like Bukayo Saka, Phil Foden playing for England, and obviously you see there's a lot more content coming out from on the YouTube. It's a lot more sort of. It's very. I still find it really like informal. Like the lads are like having a laugh and all that.
Yeah.
They're having a bit of banter. It's almost like you feel like you're a little bit more relatable to them. Don't get me wrong, you're in a completely different stratosphere. Like in like sort of wage wise or whatever. I can't think of the word. Affluency.
Yeah, definitely.
But I feel like, especially for like my generation, they've almost like captured the imagination, and it's especially with the Euros, because it was on home turf. Like everyone, people who don't even like football are probably getting involved with it, and they want them to do well. And I think with this current crop of England players, it's got to click, because that might go again. You know, like it might end up going back to the golden generation. But
I don't think it will, with a way of social media and media focus from England themselves. You know what I mean? I think they've got a really good idea of how to kind of push the players now. Years ago, like you say, the golden generation, Becks and all that, although there was social media as such, I just don't think it was like...
It wasn't there.
I don't think they wanted... I think they wanted it to be private. They didn't want that to come out. Do you know what I mean? Now, you look at the lads now and they're like, oh yeah, you've got someone filming them all the time, wherever they go. And people might say that that's wrong. Might say that it should just be locked up and behind closed doors when you're with England.
Yeah.
But I think they've got a better idea now, haven't they, of like... how to make them more relatable to now. Do you know what I mean?
Grealish with
the lad,
cerebral palsy.
He's on Soccer AM yesterday.
Yeah, amazing.
You know,
he has done so
like,
much for him.
Yeah.
All it took was him to just do that, and he's like, and now the guys get.
But then again,
he's
look at probably what's happened with cerebral palsy. You know what I mean? The charities and stuff like that. I bet from that time it'll just push it forward, and I think that's the brilliance of it, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's the brilliance, because they're giving this young kid with cerebral palsy a voice, you know what I mean, to get out there. And obviously Jack himself having his sister with cerebral palsy as well, it must just be going mad at the moment. The charities must be going mad, the Real Outlook, and people are seeing this kid, which is class.
He's probably,
you know what I mean?
Jack's probably going to be an ambassador for cerebral palsy for the rest of his life now.
Exactly.
Just off doing that. It's
massive, isn't it?
Like I say, people, like, you know, like when you said about some people probably don't like it, you know, if it's like, you know, the lads are playing like, you know, volleyball in the pool or something like, having a mess about, and then they go and get beat 5-0, then that's when people go and think, what you're doing all that, and you're getting drummed 5-0 and all that. Like, that's when you do have to, it is a little sort of, you know, have a little pull with it where, you know, that's still going to happen. You know, football is football. Like, anyone can get turned over 5-0 on the day.
Definitely,
That's why you play football. That is the uncertainty of it. Like, you can't sort of go around living your life, you know, robotic, everything to the book, because there's no guarantee on a Saturday.
100%. Yeah, I think that's a good point to finish on as well. So shout out socials. It is at GKN, isn't it, on Instagram? And same on TikTok, I'm presuming.
Instagram at the GKN, at the .GKN, Twitter at the GKN, same on TikTok. Everything's going to be linked in the description anyway, and also your personal ones as well. It's just Chris GKN and then Ollie GKN.
CK_ the GKN.
But really appreciate coming on. Fascinating. Really enjoyed it. It's been a good laugh. Well, I want to get Greg on here as well with you two. And I think that'll be interesting. We've done that quite a bit recently, where we've had certain guests be like, I know him, why don't we come on?
It's like the multiverse.
Exactly. It's like all merging together.
He won't get that reference. It's too much for Marvel.
It's Marvel? No? Okay. Cheers. But make sure you like, comment and subscribe. If you're listening to Spotify, give us a 5-star review. YouTube, make sure you subscribe to us, and go and check them out. Check out the gloves as well. The shop is in your Instagram bio, isn't it?
Yes.
You can get a link straight to the shop. And we shall see you next week. Thank you, people.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, guys.